Welcome back. In the previous class, we have studied about what is multidimensional arrays. We have seen the implementation of that and we have understood why it is required. Today, we're starting one important topic, which is introduction to functions. So today we're going to start about functions in C++. I'm going to tell you what are functions, what are the basic things present in function, how to implement in a program, and why do we need it. So now this is one of the most important topics, so that I'm giving 3 stars over here. The reason why it is important is that functions have certain advantages. Different kind of advantages are there. But before we talk about advantages, we have to know what is a function. If you have never done programming before, you may not know what is a function. So I'll give you a very basic definition about function. How can you understand function? So it's a block of code. It's a block of code that performs a specific task. So this you can say is one basic definition of what we can say function is. Function is simply a block of code which performs a specific task. It can be anything, whatever you desire to do with that particular function. Now, when we talk about functions in C++, there are of 2 types. One, we have that we call as a standard library function, and the another one which we have is called as the user-defined function. Standard library function and a user-defined function. Now, what are these things? Very simple to understand. These are predefined by C++. So they're already present in C++, and these are created by the user. That is the basic difference between these two. That is a standard library function and the user-defined function. Now, you have already done standard library function. A lot of them we have done, like for example, we have used the maths functions like pow we have used before. We have used sqrt before. So these are all predefined functions. They're already present. Yes, somebody has made these functions, but they're already present in C++. You have not made this function, or I have not made this function. You're just simply using them in order to get some output. But when it comes to user-defined function, they are completely made by ourselves. So standard library function, it's not that important because you just have to remember it, but user-defined you have to know because you have to make the function on your own. So what is the procedure for that? That I will show you. So when we talk about user-defined functions, as the name suggests, it is defined by the user. Here what happens is the function which is there, we give the function a particular name. It can be any name, but it should match the task of the function. What does it mean? For example, if your function is to add 2 numbers, so I'm going to write the function as add, but this is not important. It is completely optional. The reason we give add is because if somebody else sees your program, he must understand that what this function will do. If you see the word add, he will at least understand that yes, this function is adding something. You can write any name. Like if, for example, if I write sum and then write the function, that is also fine. There's no problem with that. This thing, the thing I have written at the bottom, this is completely optional. So I'm going to write OP over here. It's optional. Now the biggest thing is that what is the syntax of a function? Like how do we define or how do we write a function? There are 2 parts when we have to make a function. First, we have to define it and then we have to call it. First, we'll do the define part. So what is define or definition is we have to write the function. So first we will write is that a return type, function name, round bracket, curly brackets, and inside here the body will come. So this is like the very basic syntax of a function. Here we have other things also, like inside this bracket we do have parameters, but that we are not doing right now. We're just doing a normal simple function without any parameters or arguments. Now, what is this? What exactly we have done? If I have to write this as an exact function, this is syntax. If I have to write this, if I write void, this is a return type. Void means what? It is empty. So when something is empty, it will not return anything. It will not return anything. It's void. It's completely empty. So I'm going to write void. Let's say hello and give a round bracket like this. And inside here, I'm going to write cout, hi there. This is a function. Very simple one. Here, you can see the name of the function is hello. Return type is void. The body of this function is this. So that is how we write a simple basic function. But if you run this piece of code, still it will not work because here we are simply defining the function. We have not yet called the function. It simply means that you have made a car, but you have not driven it yet. So you have to drive the car, right? So we have just made the function yet. We have not called the function so that the function works. So this is a function which is defined. We have to call it, then only it will run. Now what does calling of the function means? Calling of the function means is I have this function. If you see the function name is hello, fine. So what I'm going to do is in the program itself, I'm going to write int main. That is our main function. Inside here, I'm just have to write the name of the function, semicolon, and then return 0. So as you can see, here I am calling the function. Calling is happening here. So once I call the function, then it will run. That is whatever is inside the body, it will work properly fine. So what does it happen is, if I have to show you in a better way, whenever I have mentioned here the word hello, this thing will directly go to the top, the function, whatever is there inside it, that is cout, hi there, will be printed over here. So it will directly come over here and then it will print it to the screen. So let's see this thing with a program so that you understand it much more better. So here I have a program. As you can see, it's a very simple program. My function name is void greet. As you can see, we write the function outside the main function. So we write it outside the main function. So greet is the name of the function. Void is a return type. Inside here, I'm just simply printing something. This part is the definition of the function. Let's see what we have done inside the main function. Inside the main function, I have called the function. So here I'm on this part, I'm calling the function, and here we are defining. That is the difference. Here we're defining, here we're calling. If I run the code, it should print hello there. As you can see, it is printing perfectly fine. So what exactly is happening is, when I'm running the code, remember one thing, the code starts with the main function. So it will ignore this first. Once it runs the main function, it saw one calling of a function. So it will find this. Where it is, it's here. What it's doing, it's simply printing this line. So it will simply print that line, then return 0, close. As simple as that. So that is how function works and the basics of functions. We will do much more about it in the next lesson about parameters and arguments. If you have any doubt regarding this, you can comment down in the comment section.